Hello my friends, this video is for everyone who is looking how to support the holistic development of your child through the activities of everyday living in the Montessori curriculum. As probably most of you know, Montessori curriculum has 5 main areas, one of which is activities of everyday living, also called practical life skills, usually in the US. Then we have knowledge understanding of the world, numeracy, literacy, and sensorial. Activities of everyday living are exactly what they are, activities of everyday living, the things that we do during our day. Why? Because children have seen us so many times at home doing these activities of everyday living. They've seen us pouring, they've seen us cleaning, they've seen us closing our jackets, putting our shoes on, polishing. So these are things that they're already aware of. And when they first start school in a Montessori environment, these are the things that they're most comfortable with. So usually a 2 years old child, 2.5 years old child, when they start Montessori nursery, would spend a lot of time in the activities of everyday living. I love this area, not only because it prepares the child as a whole to go and move around the classroom, but also because it's very easy to incorporate at home. So for everyone who is looking to incorporate a little bit of Montessori at home, that's the best place to start. You don't have to buy materials, you don't have to do anything specific, you just need to be more conscious, more aware, and to, in a way, prepare the environment with a little bit more activities there. So what does it include? The activities of everyday living. This is everything that you can think of that supports you in your day-to-day life. So you can start with just involving your child in most of the activities that you do. So the activities include pouring, and pouring can be from jar to jar, from jar to free glasses or to bowls. It includes pouring of a dry content, not only liquid, mixing, transferring with spoon or transferring with tongs, opening and closing of different boxes, bottles, sewing, scissors, using cutting activities, and cutting it's not only paper but also cutting fruits, veggies, preparing of the snacks, washing up, taking care of the plants, taking care of a pet at home, cleaning up with different sorts of equipment, either with the vacuum, and then opening and closing of your zips, jackets, velcros of the shoes, polishing, taking care of your glasses or the glasses of mommies and daddies. So literally everything you can think of that is care for the environment or care for yourself. In the Montessori environment, normally we have a sequencing. We start with things that are easier for the child and we move the things that are harder. In your day-to-day life, in your environment at home, you don't have to follow any sequencing. It's just important to incorporate your child in the activities that you're working on. What are the indirect objectives? Indirect objective is everything that we want the child to get indirectly from the experience. And the indirect objectives of activities of everyday living usually fall within the 5 categories. The first is developing concentration. Concentration is huge in the Montessori world, and it's actually one of the main things that supports the child then to be able to learn more and to be able to persist through finishing an activity. And activities of everyday living, doing pouring, transferring, or anything that the child chooses to do supports the developing of this type of concentration. One of the good things is that in a Montessori environment, and something which you can do at home, it's to allow the child to choose the activity that they want to work with. So if your child wants to help you washing, or if your child wants to help you cleaning, let them do it, because when a child independently chooses what to do, their inner motivation is much higher and they're of course much more able to concentrate. Through repetition of the activity, let's say pouring activity, if they repeat it a few times, which they normally do, they are developing proficiency first, mastering, which gives them self-confidence and self-esteem, but also supports them in their building a concentration, being able to learn how to concentrate for order. The second thing is order. And by order, I don't only mean external order, but also the inner need of the child to feel order. In fact, according to Montessori, children are born with something called human tendencies, and therefore different things. That's order, exactitude, gregariousness, independence, and order is a big thing for children because they're not only looking for externally order. A child normally, even when they play with toys, you see that they'll put them in order. They'll follow some sort of sequence. And when you create internal order in the sense of routines, something that the child knows that it's to be expected, the child feels so much more comfortable. And activities of everyday living allow the child to know what follows next and allows the child to put things in order internally and externally. The first thing is social skills. In a Montessori environment, of course, in a classroom, activities of everyday living, through grace and courtesy, through helping to making snack, through serving yourself, through taking care of the environment together with friends, children develop social skills. How this translates at home, again, grace and courtesy. They role model you, whether you say thank you, hello, whether you hug people and kiss them when you meet them, whatever your cultural norm is about that, but also when do you sit at the table, do you all eat together, do you use fork and knife? So they model these things, and you can spend a little bit conscious time to teach them, to tell them. It's not teaching, it's explaining. Through observation they do a lot, but also to take the time to explain to them and to show them very slowly what are some of the grace and courtesies things that you do. Next one is independence. This is an innate human tendency of a child. Children want to be independent. Everyone who has a child and a baby will know that they want to do things for themselves, and they get frustrated if you don't let them. Of course, if you keep telling no, 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 and you stop them, in time they'll stop looking for that. But it's so important to allow them this human tendency to be expressed. So helping them learn how to close their jackets, put their shoes on, put their socks on, bring their plates on, cut their own snack, wash their dishes that will have to wash after them, of course. But allowing them to do things that allow them to express independence is really, really vital for the holistic development of the child. So support that in your children, do not rush them, take the time to show them, teach them how to help you with the laundry, how to do different things at home. And that's how they build self-esteem and confidence. And this is actually something that they're looking forward to. Last one is coordination. Activities for everyday living, they work not only on your gross motor skills, but fine motor skills. So there is a lot of pincer grip, a lot of dexterity of the wrist, hand-eye coordination. Imagine if you give a child to sew, of course not with a needle, but with big blocks and let's say big laces, or if they have to cut following a specific line or different zigzag lines, or if a child needs to open or close their button or to polish their glasses. So it requires lots of coordination of their hands and hand-eye coordination. Montessori believe that the pathway to the brain comes via hands. That's why in a Montessori classroom, almost everything goes through the hands, including how you learn mathematics and abstract notions in mathematics. And of course, there is a lot of gross motor skills when they're moving things around, or when they're cleaning with the vacuum, or when they're brushing, or they're helping with the dishes. How these things support your child? Focusing concentration will be needed for your child later when they are learning how to write and read, that's it, and learning mathematics as well. In activities for everyday living, there is a lot of fractions, something which prepares the children for mathematics later as well. For example, you can ask your child to pour in 3 different glasses for mommy, daddy, you, or the siblings, and these are fractions. It also supports the child with confidence, because in the classroom, activities for everyday living is the first place where the child would stop and would be feeling that they are confident enough to go and move around the classroom. So it would prepare the child as a whole. At home, they will know, okay, there are things that I can do by myself, and that's good, it feels good, and that allows me to explore, to resolve more problems in the future, to go around and look for things that I don't know how to do, but to know internally as a child that I can learn how to do those things. So these are activities for everyday living, things that we do all the time at home. They support the holistic development of the child, not only physically, as we said, gross and fine motor skills, but also intellectually, the cognitive development of the child. Also social-emotional, so the children will know and learn how to interact in different circumstances, in different environments, whether at a restaurant or at home, and it gives them a lot of language. So for you, it's important when you decide that you want to introduce them to an activity at home, and you don't have to make it up specifically. You can just use whatever you're doing at the moment and use it as an opportunity, if they're in the right mood, to introduce them to something. You can use language. You can introduce them what the tongue is, what the bowl is, what the plate is, and you can name the language. Children are in sensitive periods between the age of 0 and 6 for order, for acquiring of language, for refining of the skills, among other things. And a language acquisition for them is very effortless. That's why you can introduce them to 2, 3, 5 languages at the same time, and effortlessly they will be able to adapt and to learn. If you want to create an activity at home, specifically for your child. It's best if you can put them in a child-sized shelves, so it's easy for them to reach out. It's best if you can make a water, let's say a water bottle with a glass easily available, so you don't have to go every time and pour water for your child because the kitchen counter is far too high. It's much better if you allow your child to put their shoes on, which means no laces, parents, when they're little, because they're not going to be able to manage the laces yet. It's great if you can teach them how to do their zips on or how to take their pants off and on and dress and undress themselves. And you can internally think, what's the direct objective? What do I want to teach my child? What's the indirect objective? But also do a risk assessment. So if you want to give them scissors, it's good to buy child-size scissors, but literally in your mind, go quickly for a risk assessment. What am I teaching my child now? What if something goes wrong? How do I teach them to carry a scissors, let's say, or how to deal with a knife? You have to give them a little bit of context into that environment. At school we do, but sometimes at home, people either don't introduce them to activities because they think it's too dangerous and it's not, or if they do it, sometimes they don't think that from a child perspective, whatever tools they use could be far too big for them. And think what's the point of interest of the activity that you're showing to your child, because that's what would allow you to then use specific language if you want your child to learn these specific words. That's it from me. I really hope that you found this video useful. If you want me to do more Montessori videos, please let me know and I will do my best. It's an area that I deeply love, as you know, and there are lots of things we can do at home to support our children if we cannot send them to a Montessori environment. But even if they're in Montessori environment, we can be Montessori parents. You can go and watch my video on Montessori parenting, and I have few videos on different activities you can do. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comment box below or send me DM on Instagram, and I'm so looking forward to read all your questions. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. Look at this view, guys. Wow.